Alrighty, so I have been getting a couple of comments, and I even got pinged on Discord today about people having trouble with episode 620 of the Demon King fight. And honestly, this one is really tough. If you're unaware, he basically just has like a big stance gimmick where if he puts on the stance and you attack him, he's going to gain these attack buffs that just are really not what you want to deal with, and the attack buffs even increase his own stats and lower your stats, which is not good. He's going to gain back about 30% of his HP at the beginning of every one of his turns, which is also really annoying, so you can't necessarily just like whittle him down slowly. You kind of do have to use like bigger cards and stuff like that to sort of secure the last half of his health. And on top of that, you cannot use light or dark characters in this mode. They're starting to sort of make a trend with that. The big thing here is he's going to use the stance card every 2 turns. He does have an infect, so you can't heal. You could potentially bring somebody to cleanse that if you really wanted to. And then the biggest thing is that his regular attack card has Quell on it, so it's going to do more damage if he has the stance on. So if at all possible, you want to keep the stance off of him as much as you can. For this example, I'm going to be using Freyr. If you do not have Freyr, which they're giving him away for free during this year 4 anniversary. It's going to be maybe a couple more days or even a week or so before you can get him because he's through the Hawk Lottery ticket event thingy. But he does have a stance cancel on level 2, which is really nice, and his cards just deal a lot of damage. His ultimate's very good if you can get more copies of it. If you do not have Freyr, I highly recommend you just click on the character, go to Search Skills, tab over one to Attack Effects, and then click on Stance Cancel. That should show you every character in your box who has a stance cancel. There are 2 big things to that as well. Most cards are going to use stance cancel on a level 2, and a lot of them are tied to stuns. The stun doesn't really matter because he's immune to all debuffs, so you can't really use that part, but the stance cancel is what you're looking for. Other than that, some of the characters are going to have stance cancel on their ultimate instead, which is not really what you want to go for. He's actually a bad example of that. Levi, for example, has stance cancel on his ultimate. And there are only 2 characters in the game that I know of. There might be another one, but I haven't clicked through every single character's skills, honestly. Ghislaine from the new Mushoku Tensei collab has a stance cancel on level 1, and there is also Jenna as well, who is unfortunately a seasonal character, but she also has a stance cancel on level 1. So if you have either of those characters, it could potentially be easier for you to keep the stance off of him. This is the team that we're going to be using. I'm using green counter melee. Just to sort of secure some extra damage with the counter that he has. The big thing here is that I have him on attack crit damage set, but I have removed one of his HP pieces, so that way he has the lowest HP and gets targeted the most. So I have already done this once. I've actually done it twice. And so far it seems to be working kind of consistently. It's not going to be, an easy like first turn kill every single time or anything. There could be a little bit of RNG involved, so you might want to sort of try it a couple of different times if you can, just so that way you can beat it, but obviously once you're done with it, you don't have to worry about it anymore. So if you're new to the channel or anything and this guide actually ends up helping you out, feel free to subscribe. We're on the road to 15K at the time of me recording this. I don't know how old it's going to get, but either way, that would be much appreciated. So we did not get an extra stance or anything. He's actually using a level 2 card right here at the beginning, which might end up being pretty rough for us considering he did so much damage. You don't want him to have the stance on basically at all. Even if he has the stance on and you use the counter, it's going to negate so much of the damage, it's not even really worth using at that point. So on the off chance that we actually survive this, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be able to, considering he's using a level 2 here first turn, and he dealt so much damage to me in the previous turn. We'll just kind of have to see, but I think we do survive. We're at basically like the lowest HP possible. You can see we're getting really good damage off there. If I would have got another rank up card or something to get Freyr to do a little bit more damage, that would have been ideal, I think, but like I said, sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. He does have another stance up. Ideally, you just want to make sure that you're not attacking into the stance as much as possible. We do get an extra stance here, so we're going to go for that, and I guess I'll just move the Freyr card to see if we can go towards an ultimate, if that ends up forcing our hand almost. He's using the infect card, so it shouldn't deal too much damage. Another stance, you can see right here, another stance, but he has his stance on, so it does basically 0 damage, which is not good. Unfortunately, he isn't going to kill our melee here. Melee does have stance cancel on his ultimate, So it can work out sometimes. I was originally trying to use a green Princess Elizabeth like ult rush team and just using stance cancel ultimates to sort of work, but it doesn't always go how you exactly want it to, and there's too much RNG involved, unfortunately. We did really lucky merge into a stance cancel here, so I honestly think that we have this run in the bag now. But yeah, like I said, there is a bit of RNG involved. Obviously, melee might be very inconsistent depending on the cards that, you know, Zeldris ends up using or Demon King, but overall, it's not too difficult. To be honest with you, I just originally used Ghislaine on my fight, and I used Trader melee because I didn't realize that Darkness characters were going to be doing less damage, but it ended up working out for me. I was just able to consistently cancel stances with his level 1 card, or with Ghislaine's level 1 card, and then I used Trader Melee Amplify card with a bunch of buffs on to actually deal okay damage. It wasn't the greatest because obviously I'm getting my damage lowered from Darkness characters, but I just kind of brute forced it and got lucky with my Ghislaine stance cancels. So this is honestly not too bad. This is the 3rd time in a row that I've beat this with this team specifically. So I would definitely give it a try. If you have any other suggestions, or let me know what teams you used if you've already beat this boss down in the comments below, because, you know, newer players or just players who don't have like the most units or specific units or whatever the case sometimes can't get through content like this. So if you have something maybe a little bit more niche or, you know, just interesting that you used to beat this specifically, let me know down in the comments below, because it could help somebody else out. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was helpful and you were able to beat this, and yeah, I will talk to you guys later on.